So with the Omniverse tournament set to happen between all 12 universes, today guys I am joined by Geekless TV as we discuss our thoughts on the multiverse tournament to come, the grand finale I believe, that being the Omniverse tournament, having to be hosted by none other than the king of everything, Mr. Lord Zetto, having to have all other universes compete in this. Now Mr. MJ, I wanted to ask you here today, with this Omniverse tournament coming, with this multiversal interaction, where do you think this is going to lead to? Because again, we spoke about this before. I believe that this is going to be the be-all end-all finale of what is of Dragon Ball Super. So with everything coming about, with all 12 universes, having to come together for this one grand tournament, for this one grand fight, how do you think this is going to come about? Because I do believe that, again, Champa will return, having to bring back people like Hit. But then again, as to the structural basis, as to how this tournament's going to happen is unknown. Whether or not it's going to be, one person per tournament or maybe 5 people per tournament, we don't know. Meaning per team. So, because if you think about it, if it's going to be 5 fighters per universe, that'll equal out to 60 fighters. And quite frankly, I don't think that Dragon Ball Super in and of itself has enough time to tell the entire story of having all 60 fighters fight and whatnot. So it might boil down to where Zetto requires either 3, contestants per, universe, maybe 1. So how do you think this initial tournament's going to happen? Because I think that there's going to be qualifying rounds before, the actual, universe versus universe thing actually happens, to where it's, bracket style. So how do you think this is going to even come together, once it's all there and just, ready to debut?
I predict that if this is going to be the be-all, end-all, they should go all out. And they should pay homage to the old school Budokai. So have preliminary qualifying matches, my bad. And then, just imagine that shot, man. Guys, just listen to me. Just imagine a zoomed out shot of 1,000 fighters from all over the unit. And
that would be so fucking amazing.
And we get real fast shots of Goku going from round to round to round, Vegeta going to round to round to round, and it comes down to you said, maybe
yeah, you see Hit going round to round. Yeah, that all depends on the rules. I wanted to ask you before you finished, do you think killing is allowed? Yes or no?
Probably not, but this Zeno guy, he doesn't look like he gives a fuck, man. he was just like, maybe I should replace you guys and jump on
exactly. So what does he care, right?
So who knows? Maybe it would up the stakes, but I doubt we're gonna see it. It could happen. That's a possibility. Would you like to see it? Killing
Honestly, yes, because that really limited Hit. So that just goes to show, if that limited just one fighter, can you imagine how much it would limit other fighters that have the same potential? Because we can't really say that, oh, well, Universe 6 and Universe 7 are the strongest universes, because for all we know, Universe 4 might be the strongest, or maybe perhaps Universe 2 or Universe, 9. So, and maybe those fighters require death in order to further their combat skills. Like for example, Hit, right? He's an assassin. So in order for him to truly utilize his powers, he has to kill you. He has to implement those killing tactics to wear you out. So without that takes away from his technique, therefore kind of draws him back a little bit. So
the same with Frost too, when he put his hand to Piccolo's chest and shot a ki blast. Dude, if that was too strong, then he would have gotten disqualified and Champa would have butt fucked him.
That's true.
It's
then again, he used the poison needle, so maybe Zetto might allow foreign objects to be in use, which would kind of put Frost at a huge advantage, because he would just poison everybody to death. So then again, I still believe that he's dead. So
yeah,
because homeboy drank some Bacardi and he did not wake up. So
they're gonna come back and Magetta's still gonna be holding him on his shoulders.
Exactly. They're gonna come back with him on his shoulders. All right, we brought Frost. He's like, why is there flies all around him? We don't get it. But I completely agree. Having this go and just pay homage to the traditional Budokai style, rather than having it be gauntlet style, kind of like WWE Survivor Series style, as they did before. Having them have preliminary rounds and qualifying rounds would be great. But ultimately enough, do you think we'll see a rematch between Universe 6 and 7, or do you believe that? Because how awesome would this be, right? Universe 6 steps it up against Universe 1, 2, 4, whatever. And since Goku's expecting, Hit to be this crazy-ass character, he's improved again during this whole time of them training and just waiting it out until this tournament started, can you imagine if the first round of this tournament, Universe 6 gets eliminated?
Yeah, I mean, with all 12, anything could happen. Like, for all we know, Universe 1 is like this OP ass universe, you
Exactly.
know? It's like,
Hit just gets annihilated.
it's like, I would want to see a rematch of Hit versus Goku or even Hit versus Vegeta, but I
Oh, he's
don't.
bitter. He's bitter as fuck, bro. Vegeta's so bitter on that. Oh, there's no way he's gonna let him do the same mistakes.
Like, I would love to see a rematch with those two, but like you said, anything could happen. We could see Hit get knocked out, like in the. Can you imagine if Hit got taken out the preliminaries? That would have been, if there are preliminaries, but that would be crazy if that happened. That would like rock. I can imagine everyone at that time period doing videos of Hit getting knocked out on this mysterious character, you know.
Oh,
But
like that would shock everybody because normally you would be expecting like these other characters to like put in the work, and
yeah,
Goku already knows what Hit's like, so he's like, all right, so I'm ready for this dude, I'm ready for his Toki Tobashi, that kind of shit, and then out of the blue, bam, he just gets eliminated. So
yeah, that would be
I can
crazy.
definitely see that happening. So what do you think the purpose of this tournament's going to be?
Uh, sheesh.
There has to be a grand purpose here. Do you think it's perhaps maybe bragging rights? Do you think it's going to be for the sake of a universe? Like whichever universe wins, they get all other 11 universes. I mean, just what do you think the stakes are here? Because you can't really have this tournament and have these characters participate if there isn't a reward and a risk.
It could be anything, man. It could be, if you win, you can become Zeno's, I don't know, right hand guard. I don't know. So that means you pretty much get to govern all of the universes, basically. If you win, maybe you become the god destruction of your universe. I don't know how the gods would feel about that. All
Oh,
the
the
gods
gods
would
would
just.
not. The gods would purposely lose the tournaments. Then
It's like
they don't want to get replaced.
it's like I don't anything could happen, man. I don't know, but it's just I know I'm jumping off topic here, but can you imagine like seeing all the gods of all the universes gathered together, all the gods, gods of destruction? I think that would be an epic sight in itself. You know what I mean?
Oh, that'll be awesome, and
They
everybody's gonna be like, well, which god is stronger? Like, because that's always gonna be the question. Um,
yeah.
and we're often just always curious as to Whis and Varus's kind of like species because I to me at least, and this might seem a little far fetched, but they seem like the master race, don't you think? Because they're higher than the gods in terms of power. They're the ones that teach them. So what about them? Like, do you think they're gonna have a role in this upcoming Omniverse tournament, or do you think it's just gonna be, something to where they're obsolete?
I mean,
Because mind you,
we
we never really saw any of them really fight. So will we?
I don't know, man. I think it was already confirmed in a recent episode that they're not gonna fight. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I know for sure all the gods are gonna be gathered. But if they were to really wanna, raise this up and get us and get all of our dicks hard, is to have all the gods fight. Like say like the gods are the team leaders or something like that. If they're gonna do a gauntlet style, that would be pretty cool to have like the No Beers and Chomp are gonna get down at one point in the tournament. That would be pretty cool. But
Oh, it would be. But
it's
but
like
then again, wouldn't that put like the entirety of like creation at jeopardy? Because remember when Beerus fought Champa, Whis and Vados were like, all right, well this puts both universes at risk because just it's too much power and all the friction is causing just drastic changes, so they can't really do that. But maybe perhaps in Zeno's little alternate dimension, there is no friction, so like they can fight. But the
or he
question
puts up
is,
a
are we gonna
barrier
see them
like
fight?
Vados. I was like, or he puts up a barrier like Vados, like how Vados did to
That's
like
true.
protect. But it's like I mean, Vados and we like going back to your other question, like, are they really gonna be featured that much in it? Because we just talked about this in one of your other videos that we did recently, and that was they're not really. Whis isn't even training Goku and Vegeta right now, so it's like I don't know what they plan on doing with the character itself because I don't even think we're ever gonna see Whis fight. It's like it was so cool. I mean, I don't want to say he's getting wasted, but we just haven't seen him fight. But yet the dude's just so OP. Like in the recent episode, Goku and Beerus powered up and were shaking the earth, and then they charge, and then he just appears blocking both of them, like with food in his mouth. You know what I mean? He's just
Yeah,
like, yeah, whatever, guys, stop this right now.
with
So
complete ease, mind you.
yeah, so it's like I don't know. It would be cool if they were in the tournament as well. It would be cool, man. But I just don't know. I mean,
I mean,
like.
so the question here is who wins? Because obviously, I think we already know that it's kind of predetermined that Goku's excuse me, universe might win because this is Dragon Ball Super. This is Goku's story in a way. This is Universe 7's story. So it wouldn't make sense for another universe to win. But going based off of what we know now, do you think that Goku may in fact like actually lose this time? Because technically he didn't really give up. He didn't want to be a part of like the game because he heard about, you know, him and Hit being pawns to this grand scheme. So, you know, both of them caused themselves to get ringed out. But legitimately, without giving up, without quitting, without second guessing their nature, going into this Omniverse tournament, do you think that this tournament might have it to where they lose to a different universe? Or do you think that obviously by the end we might see our characters come out number one?
I do believe that Goku may overall lose, and I think the universe itself might lose, because when you look at them when they won Universe 7, I don't see them winning the overall Omniverse tournament. And I mean, it's like when we were talking about this earlier with Beerus and Goku, when they had stated that he's not strong enough to fight in the Omniverse tournament yet. So with that being said, I mean, Beerus and Whis must know about some other fighters out there, you know.
So what about fusions then? What about fusions? Why not adapt fusions into this? Because as strong as they are now, I'm pretty sure someone like, I don't know, Gogeta per se would be immensely powerful. I mean, yeah, he would have a time limit because of his nature and time. But like, if they really wanted to win, put your pride aside, put your shit aside. Do you think that having to formulate a fusion idea would necessarily work? Because again, we don't know if they are going to be fighting other fusions. Like what if Universe 5 has a fighter that's already fused using the Potara earrings? Can you imagine that?
Yeah, that would be kind of cool, because I believe every universe might have a Kaioshin. Don't quote me on that. It's no Universe 6 and 7 do, but most of them might have Kaioshins, right? If they're other gods of destruction, there must be other gods of creation. So
Well, of course. I mean, I think that every universe is governed, with the exception of probably one or two that are probably going to throw us off a little bit. But as I said, I mean, I think that this tournament is going to have different kind of characters introduced. Perhaps maybe fusions, other Saiyans. Perhaps maybe characters that have powers and techniques that can manipulate time itself, like, you know, similar to Hits. But going back to what you said about Goku not being strong enough to compete in this, so if that's the case, if Goku and Vegeta realize that they're not strong enough, why not use fusion? So my question is, are we ever gonna see fusion ever debut in Dragon Ball Super?
we could. I mean, I'm not sure if it'll happen at the tournament, because I'm not sure if Zeno would allow it. But it'd be kind of funny if they did allow it, though. I mean, like, there's this almighty powerful person who Goku knows he can't compete with, and Zeno's like, hey, fuck it, let him put the earrings on. So it's like, I would buy it.
Right?
Yeah, I would buy it, but I mean, overall though, I'm not too sure if we'd see it in the tournament. Maybe we'll see it in maybe a future arc that we hope would come. I mean, we predicted earlier off
Can
air
you
that
imagine
maybe.
that for a second? Gogeta versus Hit? That'd be great.
Yeah, it would actually be a good fight. People probably think, oh wait, that's way too OP. Well,
No, it's
actually,
not
no.
OP because if you think about it, Hit would gradually learn from Gogeta.
And Gogeta has a time limit, so
Exactly. So it's time limit versus time skip.
yeah, and the fact that he has supposedly deadly techniques, you know, it's like, who
Would that work
knows?
against the fusion? You see what
Sheesh.
I'm talking about? Like that
Yeah.
see, like they could have went off so much here. But then again, we're just two fans talking about this. I personally believe if you really wanted Hit to execute and utilize his killing tactics, and if you really wanted to have, you know, someone like Goku and Vegeta test their powers out, definitely have someone like, you know, someone like Hit just go at it against someone like Gogeta, because if you look at the visual structure of Gogeta and the way he fought, or at least, you know, when he fought Janemba and stuff, he's incredibly agile. He's incredibly agile, and he looks very durable. So the question here would be, would Gogeta have enough time to beat the guy that skips time? Like that would be amazing.
Like, I think people need to think about this for a second. When Goku times his energy by 10, when you look at Super Saiyan 2, you jump up 8 times to get to SSJ3.
Right.
Goku jumped up 10 times in power. People may not think that's a big increase, but it is. And the fact that Hit survived that punch, and then after he survived it, Goku was like, "You were holding back, right? Because that punch would have done you in if you wouldn't have done you in, or wouldn't have hurt you if you were at full power." And he was like, "Well, how do you know?" He was like, "Oh, I just been too busy powering up, you know." So it's
Exactly,
like,
and he even told him, he was like, he was like, because when Hit told him, he was like, aren't you afraid of death? And he was like, nah,
yeah,
I'm not gonna let you hit me like that again. So like, it'll make for the perfect opponent for Hit, and it'll make for the perfect opponent for Gogeta, because that would signify a lot. First of all, Hit would, I mean, I'm pretty sure Hit would like know about the fusion. He'd be like, oh, you're using the Meta fusion, okay, maybe
yeah,
you have a
maybe,
chance now. But then with his killing tactics utilized, that would really push them to the edge of like their limits and stuff. So
yeah,
like what
true.
else do you think is gonna come about this tournament? Like, because the way they're describing this almost seems as if it is going to have like somewhat of a interesting story behind it. So do you think that the gods are gonna have like any sort of purpose in this tournament in terms of competing or in terms of even being relevant within this? Because the only reason why Beerus and Champa didn't fight was because they can't fight each other, so they made other people fight for them. So do you think in this case, Zeno might say, all right, it's going to be each god of destruction from each universe represented by, 1 to 3 to 5 people, with the gods themselves included. So do you think that we might see the gods fight, or do you think that that's not going to happen? Because everyone has wanted to see Whis fight, Vados fight, because we don't know what they're capable of. I mean, why introduce them if we don't know what they're capable of? Every single DBZ character or DB character was often introduced, and we get to see what they're capable of. Tien Shinhan, Yamcha, Piccolo, Yajirobe, even when he was cutting off Vegeta's tail and stuff. Like, we saw every character have a purpose. Krillin, even Bulma and Chi-Chi at some point. So do you think the gods and their assistants are going to have a purpose, or do you think they're just going to be like side characters once again?
I would love to see them fight, and with Zeno there, I mean, obviously Zeno can either stop it, or we don't know where the tournament is going to take place. It could take place like in some alternate dimension, like you mentioned
Right.
earlier, or it could take place like under a barrier that Zeno created, a guy who can blink out 12 universes. That's incredibly OP. So they could do that. It's they can do so much with this tournament, man. But if you had to ask me, like, what I'm looking forward to most is seeing Hit get his rematch against Goku, and then obviously there's gonna be a new badass in the tournament. There's
What
gonna
what about
be.
a new transformation? What do you think?
I don't think so. I think we should stick with SSB, and then just maybe have like power ups like the Kaioken on it, or even not, maybe not Kaioken, just
Vegeta
that.
can't. Okay, bro.
I know it's but there's like a line that Vegeta had used, and I forgot what episode it was, but he was talking to Kaba. You might remember it. He goes, "This is what happens when you've gotten your potential unleashed or something like that. This is my power fully brought out." So it's like I'm not sure they can get any stronger than where they're at. Like, it's kind of funny because he mentioned that. So what does that make Gohan? He got his power unleashed, his potential unlocked. I wonder if
Absolutely, yeah.
if he had just learned how to keep his ki inside his body, if he would have been able to go SSB this whole time.
But then again, some people might say, well, someone like Gohan can't become Super Saiyan Blue because he's not pure-hearted. So only pure-hearted Saiyans can become Super Saiyan Blues.
That's
But that's for a different discussion. But
There's a different discussion.
I think that we might see something here. Because going back to what you said, sticking with Super Saiyan Blue, yeah, that might be the case. But going back to what you said about Kaioken and stuff, Vegeta doesn't really know Kaioken, so where does that put him in this? Especially with having like new techniques and features, Goku can always be prone to learning new things, but what
Yeah.
about Vegeta here?
Eh, it's a tough one. Like we don't know. Like, can you imagine if we get a filler episode where Vegeta just goes complete Rocky on Kyle-sama's planet, King Kai?
I
Just
wouldn't I wouldn't
complete.
mind it at all, because like imagine if he can go Kaioken, like that would be great. I mean, even though it's not, I don't think it's gonna happen, but
Yeah, but what
having
happened?
him achieve that would be kind of funny in and of itself. But so towards the end of this tournament, do you believe our characters are gonna emerge the winners? And what are your overall final thoughts on this tournament? Because I think it's gonna be the end. This is the end. There's nowhere else you can go with this. Of course you still can if you think about it, but given the circumstance that there's too much, and I don't think that they have time
Yeah.
to just to explain all 12 universes and their characters and their Kaioshins and this and that and the third. Where do you see like this grand tournament going at the very end?
I honestly don't see Universe 7 winning or anyone from Universe 7 winning.
Ooh, okay.
I see the reason why is because Goku already got his win. Not Goku, Universe 7 already got their win. Now, I'm not gonna say Goku won't win some fights, or he won't he could probably even be hit one-on-one in their rematch if they do get one. But the thing is, I just don't see them overall winning the actual tournament. I see that being like another universe, or something stopping this tournament. Everyone predicted that Universe 6 tournament would get stopped. A lot of people predicted it. I believe you even did a discussion on that.
Everybody, yep, I did too.
Yeah. So it's maybe this will be the be end all of it. Whatever, we get some
that would be interesting.
badass villain, but it's like we can sit here, we can stroke each other all day and just talk shit and just ramble but if you ask me right now what I'm looking forward to is I'm looking forward to I want to see the gods fight. I want to see the hit rematch. I want to see Goku completely badass again, because I know people are going to hate me for this, but Goku just, to me, has not been serious. Like, even with his fight against Hit, he seemed very cocky. Yeah, I mean, when you look at him, he was just like, with his scratching his head, like, oh, I know you've been holding back. I want to see him go up against someone like Cell, for example, when I won't say Frieza, because Frieza was more of like borderline torture.
Yeah.
But Cell was a good example of tiring out Goku to where he was like after the fight and he knew he couldn't beat him. I want to see Goku go up against someone like that, like a threat. You know what I'm saying? Like an actual threat.
That's good. Then again, that person just might be hit if the killing rule is implemented, because we don't really know what the hell he can do if killing is allowed. But leave your thoughts down below, guys, as to what you guys believe is going to happen in this Omniverse tournament, and which universe do you guys predict to win, and what do you guys expect to see in this giant tournament to come? Comment down below, guys. Once again, thank you guys for watching. If you guys are fans, don't forget to subscribe. That way you guys don't miss a single DB update. If you guys enjoyed, smash that like button. Check out Geekless TV down in the description, guys. Thank you all for watching. Once again, leave your thoughts down below, and we'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Take it easy, guys. Peace.